Differential focus is one of the nicer audio-visual techniques in my view, but we need to shoot the images specially for it. It's not something that we can create as an afterthought via image editing. The technique is fairly simple. We need to take two images of the same scene, one with the focus on the foreground subject, and another with focus on the background, which in turn allows the foreground to blur. A simple fade between two images in PTE AV Studio creates a very appealing transition. And this technique can work very nicely if we interweave it with our opening credits. The two images we need don't have to be shot from a tripod, but if you are shooting handheld, just take reasonable precautions to keep the camera as still as possible. Generally, I've found a medium telephoto lens works pretty well, somewhere around 100mm, but it's not crucial. The act of changing focus, though, from foreground to background can affect the register of the two images. So once we have the two images both edited, leave them at their full size and take them into Photoshop. So here we have the image focused on the foreground and the image focused on the background opening Photoshop. I want to make them into a layered stack. I'm going to drag one of the tabs from the top of the screen. With the Move tool and the Shift key held, click drag and drop, and I can now close this one down. The Shift key just makes sure that the image drops 4 square over the top of the one beneath. So we've got the same two images now, but in a layered stack. I'm going to select both of them, so I'm going to hold my Control key and select both of those layers, because what I'm going to do is to align them. Photoshop is really good at this. We go to our Edit menu and we choose Auto Align Layers. And all we need to do here is select Auto and OK and allow Photoshop to do its work. Now we can see by looking in the layers on the right hand side, to be able to line up both of those images, it does require us to crop now, and that's why I said we should leave these images at full size. If I turn the top layer on and off, you can see just how well Photoshop has aligned these two layers. Pretty near perfect for our needs in PTE AV Studio. Of course, we've got some cropping to do, but if we were making a normal slideshow, then I'd be cropping to 16:9. So that's what I'm going to do next. Now, because I know these two layers are pretty well aligned, I could leave the top layer turned off for a moment so I can see this when I go to my crop tool and select it. And from the options at the top here, I'm going to select 16:9. So now I can crop in. And when I hit the Enter key or the tick on the top of the screen, I've got both of my images nicely cropped to 16:9. All I need to do now is to save each one of these individually as a JPEG into my project folder. With the two images opened up into PTE AV Studio, this is the easy part, as you can see. Just one image needs to follow the next, and it doesn't matter too much which way round you place them. Personal choice. I suppose the hardest part of this whole technique is finding a subject that works reasonably well, because not all do. In the Objects and Animation screen, if I show you my first image, there's the one with the blurred foreground. I've got a little bit of text coming up. But then when the sharp foreground version comes on screen, it removes the text. Thanks for watching, and if you have any suggestions for 5-minute videos on this sort of topic, please leave them below and I'll see what I can do.